So I realized I was doing that thing that I talked about in my last video, which is thinking way too long and planning in my head and kind of churning over what I'm gonna say and not actually saying it to you guys. So I set myself a timer, and there's something that's been on my mind and I want to talk to you guys about it because it's been really helpful for me. So I'm setting a timer for 5 minutes, so I try not to ramble because I know that if I just get it out there for you guys, this is not the last time I'm going to be talking about this. As long as I'm getting content out there that's sustainable, I should be able to talk about it in the future as well. So we're in half a minute here. I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's really helped me with intuitive eating in the last probably couple weeks to a month, and that is hedonism. And that sounds really strange, I realize that. Hedonism is the pursuit of pleasure. Well, I'll put kind of a more formal definition down there, but basically it's the pursuit of pleasure as the most important thing in your life. And that sounds really counterintuitive, right? Because it sounds selfish, and it is selfish. But the way that hedonism has helped me, and I've kind of embraced it, and it's really helped me find balance and really helped me find kind of the intuitive eater within myself and helped me appreciate my body and fitness and food in a way that is completely new and in a way that also allows me to balance other things. Okay, so I've rambled long enough. What I'm talking about with hedonism is the pursuit of pleasure. Now, I'm not talking about obsession, because a lot of people obsess over food and they mistake that for pleasure. That's not the type of hedonism that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the pursuit of pleasure. What feels good for you as a whole, for your body, for your mouth, for your stomach, for your mind, for your overall well-being, for your emotional health. So I'm talking about hedonism as an entirety. That is something that if you want to find balance in food and fitness and in life in general, pursue that hedonism. Because hedonism is not just food. Hedonism isn't an obsession with food. It's a much bigger context. What gives you pleasure? And if food or fitness or food or exercise is the only thing you can come up with, you might be lacking in other areas of your life. I know personally, when I was just counting macros for days and days and days and completely obsessed with just putting together meals and counting everything, there were parts of my life that I was neglecting. When I'm talking about hedonism, I am talking about the pursuit of pleasure in terms of for your body, for your mind, for your soul, through food, through fitness, through your job, through your relationships, through your personal time alone and inner reflection. When you think about it, hedonism doesn't just encompass food, and it's not like hedonism bought in Futurama, who just sits around and eats food all day. When you think about it, that's a bit counterintuitive, and maybe, I might be wrong in my interpretation, but this is how I'm interpreting it. Being a hedon doesn't mean you're sitting around watching TV and eating all day, because how much pleasure does that really bring to you as a being, right? Because to find pleasure, we need to be balanced. We need to have pleasure in our social life, in our careers, in our food, in our fitness. There's all these different components that kind of are forgotten when you say like, oh, I'm a hedon. You might be referring to the fact that you just love to eat. But when you think about it, at a certain point, food hurts. At a certain point, exercise hurts. Anything in excess will hurt you. So for me, I'm finding I'm seeking pleasure. So when I eat, I'm seeking pleasure with food. And as soon as that food stops tasting good, that's my body's way of telling me, okay, you've had your pleasure from this. It's not going to taste very good. If you continue to eat that food, you've gotten the most amount of pleasure that you can from this meal. From now on, it's not going to taste good anymore. It's just kind of going to have a texture in your mouth, and you're going to be mindlessly eating it. You've gotten the pleasure that you need from this meal. Now, if you continue to go past it, what are you going to have? Probably discomfort, probably a feeling of fullness, a feeling of bloating, a feeling of lethargy, being lethargic, which I find a lot if I overeat, seeking excess pleasure in one area, so seeking excess pleasure in food by overeating, which at one point stops being pleasurable, right? Because you're eating past a certain point and you're eating your way into discomfort, which is not hedonistic if you think about it. If you're seeking pleasure, discomfort is not pleasure, neither is pain in your body because you've eaten too much. Give your body what you truly want to eat and eat it as long as it's pleasurable. But pay attention to your body when it tells you, hey, this doesn't taste very good anymore, this doesn't really have a flavor anymore, you're just kind of chewing to keep yourself occupied. So hedonism is a two-parter. It's giving yourself what you want, but also realizing what it is that you want. So that when you're done eating, you've maximized your pleasure out of your eating, you're not in the state of discomfort, your body isn't affected in a way that will hinder your ability to do other things. So for example, for me, if I overeat too much at lunch, I'm a useless person in the office. I get brain fuzz, I get really lethargic, I might start having headaches. I don't do very well if I eat past satisfaction, if I eat past fullness. I don't do well. So that goes against kind of this attempt to seek pleasure, because if you really seek pleasure, it's going to be in all sorts of components in your life. It's going to be in your career as well. It's going to be in your day-to-day life. If you seek only pleasure in your eating, then it'll affect those other components so that you won't have that balance. Maybe it'll affect your relationships because all you think about is food. Or you might eat too much and you feel lethargic and you can't enjoy the rest of the night out with your friends. Same goes for fitness. You know, I personally have been finding that the most helpful thing in terms of building muscle mass, which I really feel like I have in the last couple months, has been exercising in a way that feels good to me. So if I'm doing way too many sets of something, I've been cutting down on it. If I feel like I can't do cardio, or if I feel like cardio is really uncomfortable because my knees hurt, I don't do it. I only exercise in a way that makes me feel good. And I've actually found myself pushing myself and being much more concentrated in the gym because I've kind of cut down on the time that I'm in the gym, so that what I'm doing isn't just for quantity, it's for quality. It's for, it feels really good to be with myself and be with this muscle contraction right now. And I can really focus in on those things because I'm doing things that bring me pleasure. And pleasure isn't laziness, by the way. I get pleasure from my work. I get pleasure from being with my family, being with friends, learning about myself. For me, I've been reading so much lately, and I love that. I love personal development. That gives me fulfillment, and that fulfillment to me is pleasure. So, whew, that was a lot. I am supposed to stop talking 3 minutes ago. I did hit the snooze button, but I really hope that makes sense to you guys, and I will be talking about it more as time goes on. I encourage you to start thinking about finding balance, not because you have to, not because you are messed up or because you're not like everybody else, but because you're fucking awesome and you deserve to have pleasure in your life. But that doesn't mean eat to the point of excess or exercise to the point of excess that it affects those other things in your life. The way you seek pleasure should be as a whole in your life. And I realized that this was a very, very abstract chat, and I'm really hoping that as I talk to you guys more about it, it'll start to make a little bit more sense. But this is really, really something I've been experimenting a lot with, and it's actually allowed me to eat significantly smaller portions, right? I had a chicken breast today. I didn't film it, but I had a little chicken patty today with some hummus and a spring roll, and I only ate half the chicken. I'm not restricting, I want to make that clear. But I felt, hey, I'm satisfied. If I continue to eat more, I'm kind of just going to be bored. I would rather seek pleasure through something else, like making videos. That's kind of that self-awareness of what will actually bring you fulfillment and pleasure at the time, and at what point do you kind of need to cut it off and save a little bit more for later, so, right? So you're not just eating pizza the whole day, you're eating as much pizza as will make you feel good, as will make your soul and your body feel good, and then will allow you to move on to doing other things in your life that make you feel good. Did I say that? Did I say that correctly? I think that last sentence summed it up pretty well, so I hope you guys stuck around for this little rant. I'm planning on having more of these kind of insightful things, especially as I'm reading different books. I've recorded twice as much as I ever intended to, so I will talk to you guys later and enjoy this next clip. Hello friends, I just got home from a good day at work, and first of all, outfit of the day, since I promised you guys I would be doing this when I came back from my long hiatus from YouTube, so here it is. I'll take you guys through it real quick. So I have the same little vesty thing jacket that I was wearing before, in I think 1 or 2 videos ago I filmed in this. It's just a little sweatery thing. It's very, very cozy. I have a pair of tights on, a little black little skirt, just a long sleeve shirt with a little tank top on because it's very cold in my office. So I like to do that. And a little statement necklace and some earrings. I have little kitten heel booty type of things. I guess they're not kitten heels, they're just little boots that I wear to work, but I drive in these little boat shoes, so I don't have to worry about the heel getting caught in anything, so you guys don't see that because I keep those shoes in my car. Anyway, so this is kind of the outfit that I have on today. I don't really have anywhere to record this in my house. My house does not have good lighting anywhere, except maybe the bathroom. Maybe I'll start recording videos in here for you guys. So earlier in the video, I talked with you guys a little bit. Ooh, lighting is kind of okay here. Earlier in the video I talked with you guys about hedonism and how that applies to intuitive eating and how much you can improve just by being pleasure seeking and kind of looking out for yourself, looking out for your body, and really putting your own body first. So today was kind of a really good example for me personally about how hedonism can actually help you, and how if you don't put kind of your own good feeling first, it can hinder you, and how you should look at food as a component of that, you know, pleasurable life. That sounds super weird, guys, I realize. But so today I ran a meeting that I've been planning for a little while now. It's kind of to kick off an initiative that somebody and I are starting in our organization within work. Very excited about it. It took a lot of kind of effort on the back end, and I was presenting for the hour, and I was you know, leading the meeting, and that was really fun. It ran till about 12:30, so right into the lunch hour, and before that I had a couple of snacks, but nothing too substantive. So I was really hungry. I was kind of drained. I was kind of exhausted after the meeting, so I went downstairs to grab some food. I had the lunch that I was planning to have, but they were also giving away biscotti downstairs, and there was this big, like, monster size, like, you guys, like this huge biscotti, like chocolate covered, really delicious looking, amazing. I was intending to have just a couple bites, because I knew that, you know, eating the whole thing won't make me feel very good, and it'll be too much for me, and it'll be eating past full. So I had a couple bites of like the really chocolatey goodness, and I don't have any video to share with you guys, so I'm sorry about that. So I had a couple bites, but I was so tired and I was so mentally drained that I kind of just kept eating away at it, and it was like I was kind of mindlessly eating at that point, because I was like, yeah, I know I'm full, but you know, it's not gonna hurt. Physically, it's not gonna hurt me, right? Like, I'm eating at a point where I'm at like a 7 on the hunger scale. Like, if I get to the 8, it's not gonna be a huge deal. I'm not gonna be like stuffed, so it's not a big deal if I eat past the point of it tasting good, right? Which is what I talked about before, which is eat for pleasure, eat until it kind of starts to taste not as good, or the taste intensity goes away a little bit. So I kind of ate past that point. So I finished the whole thing, which isn't the end of the world. Like, I'm not gonna gain a ton of weight from it. That's not my concern. My concern is I had eaten that kind of on top of the smaller lunch that I had, and it was a lot. It was a lot of, my body kind of reacted pretty quickly to it, and I realized that I should have definitely stopped at those couple bites because they were really tasty, and I was eating them mindfully. But as soon as I zoned out and just kind of ate, thinking, yeah, it's not gonna hurt, I got brain fog, right? Like, I was so unproductive for the rest of the day. I had a hard time putting together sentences because I was just kind of tired. My body was too busy. What I really should have done, I should have definitely had the biscotti, but instead of eating the whole thing, what I should have done once I started realizing, hey, I'm pretty satisfied, it's not starting to taste very good, I'm kind of eating mindlessly, what I should have done is relax and kind of take care of myself, maybe sit with my thoughts, maybe chat with a friend, read a book or something to kind of relax and take a break mentally. But what I did was kind of keep distracting myself, and that caused me to eat more than kind of my body could handle. My body's so busy digesting it that it's really this is super scientific, right? Not much of the blood is going to my brain, so I definitely have a big brain fog going on. Like, I crashed after that meal, and it doesn't feel very good. That's kind of how I've been approaching intuitive eating lately, is how is it going to affect your entire day? Because eating and food is part of your day, and you should be trying to make the best day possible, not just by eating the most amount of food, but by eating food that tastes good, eating it enough that you feel satisfied, but it's also not going to affect the rest of your day. So I'll leave that rant at that. Please leave in the comment below, have you ever had that kind of experience where you ate something, maybe you ate it a little mindlessly, and then you kind of have that brain fog, that crash? Like, right now I'm having a really hard time coming up with anything to say to you guys besides rambling, because my brain's not working too hard, because I didn't really fuel it to work very hard, right? I gave it chocolate and like biscuit, like that's what I gave it. It's not very substantive. And I know since that was a pretty carb heavy meal, I'm gonna be hungry in the next hour or so. So anyway, I'll leave it at that, you guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really hope it was helpful for you. This kind of topic I feel like is a little more controversial when you say, hey, in order to be healthy, you need to be hedonistic and you need to be pleasure seeking. I can see a lot of people might be pissed off about that, or might argue with that, but I really hope at the end of the day that some of you guys walk away with some good tips and good, maybe a different perspective to try out, to help yourself learn to be less reliant on food as kind of the source of happiness in your life. So that's my little lesson for you in this video, and a little lesson for myself too, because y'all know I'm gonna learn this over and over and over again, but every time you learn it, you get a little better, right? Alright, that's enough rambling, Tally. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys next time. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Comment below, because I love, like, I get an email with a notification from YouTube saying someone commented, and I get so excited just reading them, seeing what ideas you guys have, and chatting with you. So please comment below. I'll talk to you guys later, and as always, don't stop growing.